Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing tips and football selections for Sunday the 4th of May. Well, I need to stop starting these videos with apologies, so I'm not going to say a dicky bird. Hopefully that the luck changes. Certainly the riding of Arisaig was disappointing, travelled really well, definitely would have got a place, probably would have won in my opinion, but makes no odds. It didn't even come placed. So one placed. In fact, I think it's one placed out of something like 16 selections. That's how bad it's been. So I've took a different angle today. So I've subscribed to flat stats again. Something I've done in the past. Inconsistent results. So we've had good days, we've had losing days. I just needed to mix it up a bit. Because clearly I need a change of fortune. Some horses have been running well. It's like the I can't remember its name now. Was it Pearl something? No, not Saxon Pearl. The very first runner of the day, I think it was 80-1. It actually ran a decent race, ran above itself. You could see that they were trying, but it just weren't good enough. If every horse ran like that, well, I'd be pleased. But unfortunately, some have ran absolutely shocking. So last week, the first three runners at Haydock never left last place, were nudged along and never closed. So yeah, it's disappointing at the moment, but I've gone for a different angle. I've used flat stats for one of the bets, but I haven't for the other one. So the first bet is one where I haven't used flat stats. So I've had a 10 pence each way lucky 31 comes to £6.20, then I had a 50p each way singles. So the first selection is Ever Driven. I've left the price. It's in the 130 at Salisbury, 4 places instead of 3. This horse has done absolutely nothing so far, or should I say it's done nothing for 2 years. It's only had about 6 or 7 runs. There's clearly been problems, but on its first 2 runs it showed promise, but that was in 2023. I believe it was gelded. It then didn't. I think it beat one horse home on 2 occasions. That's not bad when you're looking to enter handicaps, but at some point you need an improvement in form. Well, it's since had a wind operation and it's run twice since on the all weather. What I would like to, this is where it'd be quite handy if you actually knew the trainer's thoughts, but if it actually doesn't like the all weather, it's bred to be okay on the all weather. I've looked at the sire stats and it's just average. So if the trainer says it hated the all weather, well, I'd be more optimistic. They've tried a number of combinations with headgear and whatever. So it's in a conditional jockeys race. Something I have been betting in, but it's not the best thing to do really. But coming out top of the ratings is the favourite. It's not the Cola Kid. I think it's called the Cola Brazil or something like that. That was well clear. So if anybody fancies that, I wouldn't put them off. But this Ever Driven, it's ran okay twice on the all weather. It's got Patrick Millman on board. It's not a bad jockey, but I'm more interested in the horse as whether it's got any ability. It's head geared up to the eyeballs. And I'm trying to think who the trainer is. In fact, I'm going to tell you now. Oh, I didn't want that to happen. Tom Dascombe, I do actually like the trainer, and I think it's got a bit of a chance. It's got a very low rating because it's achieved absolutely nothing so far, so I think it's got a sneak. I've left the price, but if it's fancy, it could be much shorter, but we'll see. The next selection is a James Owen, the Gredley family horse. It looks like a lot of investment's been put into this trainer or trust or whatever you want to call it. It now trains a number of horses for the Gredleys. I have seen one of them interviewed a bit back, and it did seem a bit of a. I'm not thinking of a swear word. I'm just thinking it did seem a bit demanding. So I don't think he'll get too many chances of the horses coming on place. Well, it's a big meeting. It's the Guineas meeting. So he needs to. Don't get wrong. James Owens had an unbelievable. Is it first 2 years? But he needs to continue that. Otherwise, I don't think he'll continue to get the support. I'm not saying anything's waning, but it's just he started off with okay horses. He's now got horses under both codes, the jumps and flat, getting very good horses. I think he won was it the Nottingham Derby or something like or no, the Nottingham Oaks with one of his horses. I think it was in these colours. He had some runners yesterday that ran disappointing. He'll be looking for a change of fortune. So this is actually the outside of the lot, but it's only about 12-1. So it's Trade Jazz or Trad Jazz in the 145 at Newmarket, and it's 3 places instead of 2. And it's important that it's 3 places instead of 2 because it is the outsider. But I looked on the ratings, on the Racing Post ratings, and to be fair, I think the vast majority of horses are ahead of this horse because of reputations. Because they've pretty much, apart from the favourite, they've pretty much behind horses behind it are rated very, very similar. This is one of the higher rated horses. According to the Racing Post ratings, it's had a recent run, but that recent run, it only confirms it stays 1 mile 2 because it ran over 1 mile 3 at Kempton, never ran on the turf, so it's completely on trust. But obviously, I'm expecting they will have galloped it, might even galloped it at Newmarket somewhere or a racecourse gallop, or they must have had it on the turf at some point. There's no way it's only ever touched the all weather. Yeah, so I think it's got a chance of a place. Who knows? It might pop up and win if the favourite hasn't trained on. But the fact that the favourite's short, you would expect it to have trained on. There will be a lot of big reputations in this race, and we'll see what happens. The third selection is Hey Boo at 33-1 in the 3:35 at Newmarket. Unfortunately, this isn't an extra place race. And I think there's probably many reasons why it isn't, because there's a lot of value to be had of horses sneak into the frame. However, we do really need that extra place, but we haven't got it. But this horse showed a huge amount of improvement. Don't get me wrong, it was beaten, it came second, and it does reoppose another one of these horses. I think it's the one that won that race on that day that beat this selection is 12-1. I think it's called Duty First or something like that. I just think Hey Boo's progress is quite astonishing, really. I think it originally did something like a 69 Racing Post rating, then an 80 Racing Post rating, then 100 on turf. That was at Newbury. And what I did notice is it was favouring the near side rail. I'm not saying it was massively inconvenienced by the draw bias, but in the end, it had to move over to the near side rail. Only might have lost a couple of lengths in total. But I think it's a horse that's absolutely proven its fitness, and it's in absolutely flying form. If there's any cracks amongst the horses that are expected, right? So this is 33-1. There are several horses, right about 12s, 14s, that are expected to possibly sneak in the frame if they're really fancied horses don't run up to mark. So what we're relying on really is some of the strongly fancied horses not run up to mark, some of the lesser fancied horses not run up to mark, and hopefully this horse bypassing all those and sneaking a place. It's a lot to ask, but it's in the form of its life. And to be fair, I'm a massive fan of Jack Shannon now. I've been since I saw him take 2 horses to York, and both of those horses won big. I think there were heritage handicaps on the day. It's definitely one to keep an eye on, and not criticising his dad, but already it feels as though Jack Shannon's took it to the next level already, even though he might be still missing the big races that Mick Shannon won. But there's plenty of time. I think he's only in his 2nd or 3rd year. The 4th selection is one that I really like the look of, but the fact is, I don't know if today's the day, but I've backed it, so I'm hoping it is. It's Detective at 9-1. I've got best odds guaranteed in the 3:45 at Hamilton. This horse was... I think it was trained by Diane Sayer. It went to AM Slag, and now is trained by... Oh, Diane Sayer. So originally it wasn't trained by Diane Sayer, but now it is. So basically this horse, it runs regular at Carlisle, but it has won at Hamilton. I think it's well handicapped, and it went through the doldrums a bit. In my opinion, it's definitely weighted to run well and handicapped to run well. It's just whether my concern is, are they using these kind of races as stepping stones to what could be the Carlisle Bell? Because it has ran in that race in the past, and it's worth a lot more than what this race is. So are they saving the handicap mark, keeping it ticking over till they find a more valuable race? I don't know, but looking at today, it's definitely got a chance. It's not the strongest of races, and it handles Hamilton, which some of the others are not proven to, because it's a bit of a tricky course. It's a bit of a roller coaster, and it's also an uphill finish. So it's an interesting race, and I think Paul Mulrennan's on board, and he is, yeah. So yeah, I do. Out of all the selections above, Detective is one of the more. Well, in fact, I find them all interesting, but Detective is definitely one, towards the top. The next selection is Hallelujah You. I've left the price in the 520 at Newmarket, 3 places instead of 2. It's another one that's 1 second. It's another one that's arrived today with a run under its belt. Like Trade Jazz above as well, and it's another one of the Gredleys for James Owen. I think it's got a chance, and those are the selections. Don't go yet. There's another bet yet. I just need to make sure I'm logged in. Right, I'm logged in. Right. So this is based on flat stats. These horses are very prominent in the flat stats ratings for today. It's where basically flat stats says these could be a great bet because they are basically well clear on ratings. How they come about those ratings, I'm not exactly sure. But I have used them in the past, but I couldn't tell you specifically what they're based on. I think it's similar to maybe Racing Post ratings. It's weighted on. In my opinion, I think it's form. I think it's sire form. Sire performance based on these conditions and several other things. I'm not going to try and tell you something that I don't know, but I can give them chances, and I think they've got a right chance. So I've had a 15. No, I've had a 45 pence each way. Lucky 15. 1 second, and I've had 75 pence each way accumulator. So the first selection is Liam Swagger, 7-2 in the 255 at Newmarket. All these are best odds guaranteed because it's after 8 o'clock and it's on Bet365. None of them are extra place races. Liam Swagger tends to run keen, but it ran an absolute cracker at the Cheltenham Festival. You think, what? Well, it was keen and made good headway and came third in the Fred Winter. This horse always runs keen, so we need a decent pace. James Owen's also got another in the race, which is a 1 mile and 4 horse. I'm expecting that horse to be there just in case there isn't a quick pace. If there isn't, I think that horse will go on to ensure there's a quick pace. There's also a Joe Fanning and Charlie Johnson horse in the race, and they will normally be up with a pace. But knowing Joe Fanning, he won't be tricked into going too fast because they'll know all about it. I think he's one of the best jockeys that's still riding. So it's Liam Swagger in the 255 at Newmarket. The second selection is Kiss Me Love. Kiss Me My Love at 6-1 in the 418 at Hamilton. This was top rated. It's a Charlie Johnson horse, which it will be the end of me. I've looked at it and it's got every chance. I think it may not have wanted its recent runs on the all-weather, and now it's back on turf. It could be very interesting. It's not one of the most confident selections, but that means absolutely nothing with the form that I'm currently in. The next two are top rated on flat stats, and I like the look of them. So it's Masikila. Yeah, we'll go with that. 9-4 in the 453 at Hamilton. It's Tim Easterby is absolutely flying. It was top rated, but I fancied it anyway. It was just a boat. I couldn't believe it was actually. It kind of like, I know we all like it, but it's nice to have a bit of validation. It doesn't mean they're going to run any better. It just kind of backs up your thought theory behind it. So yeah, it's been running in better class handicaps. It's dropped down to this class. I think it's class 5. It's been sat in last place, making headway, but not quite getting on terms. Well, it's not having to quite get on terms with as good horses this time. It'll be carrying like a higher weight, but it should be able to go through the field easier because they are lower rated horses, if you know what I mean. I don't know if that makes sense. It should basically just be easier for the horse. So it's Masikila in the 9-4 in the 453 at Hamilton. And then finally, it's Falak at 100-30 in the 235 at Hamilton. This very much I won't exactly call it a bridesmaid, but it always used to be the horse that it would be an eye catcher in virtually every single race or every single major handicap that it used to run in. You'd see it tanking away in mid-division. Sometimes it'd come and finish placed, sometimes it'd just not get a run, or sometimes it'd just fade away after tanking. I think it's got a chance today. decent prize money, and I think it's a race that they'll be trying to win. It's not the fantastic prize, but it's definitely got a chance. So I wish you the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.